and set apart and sanctified to that ministry. Part of their ministry, the elders' ministry, as we just read in Shemot 18, is to protect Moshe.
That's right.
I'll be Moshe, okay? Would you allow me to do that just for today? I'll be Moshe. Their job is to protect me. Their job is to make sure I don't get bogged down with every Tom, Dick, and Harry problem. He didn't say hello to him. He gave him a cross look. He doesn't like Spanish people, and he doesn't like white people, and he doesn't like black people. So I'm gonna meet with the rabbi. I'm gonna pull the rabbi aside, and I'm gonna bend his ear on all the things that are happening in the synagogue that I don't approve of, that are not true, that are not righteous, that all the things that he doesn't know about. I'm going right to the rabbi. I'm not wasting my time with Roberto because you know he's a little this, and I'm not wasting my time with Tehillah because you know she's a little that. That it's wrong. It's rebellious. It is anti-Christ. It is anti-Mashiach. You're out of line. You're out of submission. You're out of order. They have been set apart. They've had hands laid upon them so that as immediately when an issue, a small issue arises, you must seek their judgment. You must seek their mishpat. You must seek their sentence. You must seek their ruling. It doesn't matter if they're female. It doesn't matter if they're male. It doesn't matter if they're a combination of both. I don't know where you'd find that. The bottom line is you are there. They are there to hear all these matters, these daily common matters that come up in the shul.
Say amen. Amen.
Okay? And we're fortunate because we have a woman and a man. A lot of congregations don't have women as elders. So if you're a woman and you have women issues that you feel uncomfortable speaking to a man about, you have two women. You have Tehillah and you have Rebbetzin and Rivka. Most congregations don't have a single woman where they can go and share woman-on-woman, personal, one-on-one issues between women. They don't have that. So if you're not comfortable going to Roberto, you can go to Tehillah. If you're a man and you're not comfortable going to Tehillah, you can go to Roberto. But understand one thing. According to the counsel of Yahweh, the Torah of Yahweh, the principles of Yahweh, the word of Yahweh, the ways of Yahweh, the directions of Yahweh, the understanding of Yahweh, the instructions of Yahweh, you must bring issues that are continuing to brew up in the camp right to the elders, not to the rabbi, to the elders. You are not going to get resolution according to the word of Yahweh by coming to the rabbi. Why? Because the rabbi is not ordained by Yahweh to tackle small matters. I don't have that ability because I'm not ordained. Those things have not been ordained for me. They've been ordained for the elders. In most congregations, the elders are just like some pictures on a wall or to make the rabbi look good. So in other words, if you have a piece of stationery and you've got 99 elders listed, there must be a powerful ministry because you have 99 elders listed. But in the truth of Israel, we're not the church, we are Israel. In the Commonwealth of Israel, the elders are to be active in judging. Well, Rabbi, maybe you hadn't read Matthew chapter 7. Judge not that you be not judged. No, that means don't judge self-righteously and hypocritically, individually, out of order. You must use righteous judgment, which is the blessed word of Yahweh and the instruction. You are to judge your neighbor's fruit, your neighbor's lifestyle, your neighbor's doctrine, your neighbor's halakha, your neighbor's derech. You are to judge your brothers and sisters, but you better use righteous, not like the Pharisaic, unrighteous, Talmudic oral law judgment. You've got to judge righteously by thus it is written, thus it is said, and thus it is recorded. If you and I judge each other by the same standard, we're using equal weights and measures. If we all use the same standard, you all have to use the same standard. The blessed word of Yahweh. Amen? Baruch Hashem Yahweh. The small matters, listen, must not be brought to the rabbi. They must be brought to the elders. Now listen, the shameshim, or the elders, must, listen carefully, Roberto, I'm teaching, I'm preaching to you and you too, Tehillah. The elders must take this minor issues, or the minor matter, and immediately consult with each other before making a ruling. Okay? There's no such thing as, Rabbi's you're going to talk to Roberto, don't tell Tehillah. If you're going to talk to Roberto, it's his obligation to speak and share with Tehillah. And if you bring the issue to Tehillah, it's not going to be confidential. It is her ordained, authorized obligation under Yahweh to bring that issue to the Shamash, the senior elder, and bring it to him. And together, not individually. Roberto cannot make mishpat, ruling, judgment, sentence, bring sentence on small matters on his own without first consulting together with Tehillah, and together they can make a ruling. Are we on? Are we going?
No.
Now, the elders are appointed to hear not the non-issues or the non-matters, but the small matters. What would a small matter be? He said this, she said this. I had my feet up on the chair. He kicked the chair out from under me and my feet fell down. I was relaxed. He took my seat. I had my pocketbook on the seat. Oh, it's getting hot now. Now it's getting hot. I had a sponge cake on my seat. I put a sponge cake so everyone would know that my tachas was sitting there. Some people put a sponge on their seat. I put a sponge cake. And he still took my seat. I'm calling the rabbi. No, you're not. You're out of order. You're not following Torah. You're not following the direction and the commandments, and that things are done decently and in order in the Kehillah. You call the Shamash, the one you're more comfortable with, and you bring that small matter to Roberto, if you're a man, to Tehillah, if you're a woman, or vice versa, with the understanding that they have been ordered by Scripture, not just by the rabbi, but by Scripture to consult with one another, and they are under the ordination and sanctification and Kedushah and commandment of Yahweh to bring verdict. They're not going to pass it on to the rabbi. What they decide, you must abide by. There's no court of appeals here. In the world, in civil matters, there's a court of appeals. In kingdom matters, there is no court of appeals. When you bring a small matter to one of the Shamashim elders, they will consult the other Shamashim immediately, not a week later, a month later, as quickly as humanly possible, and they will deliver mishpat, sentence, ruling, on your behalf. Do you understand me? Don't go to them for counsel or advice or to share something brewing in the congregation, something that's brewing, and then when they render a verdict without the rabbi and without the rebbitzin, and then turn around and get angry at them and go tell everybody how upset you are and how you don't agree and you find fault and you take issue. Oh my. It's very quiet today. Very quiet. Because there's no appeal. If you read Shemot 18 and later in 1 Corinthians 6, you'll see there is no appeal. You can't go to the rabbi. You're forbidden to go to the rabbi. You must go to them with the understanding that what they say is binding. Is that understood? Well, Rabbi, I don't know, because what happens if Brother Romero and Sister Solorzano consult? They issue mishpat, render verdict, judgment, and it's just, I can't live with it. Put it this way, if their mishpat, their sentence, their ruling, their judgment, their verdict is according to Torah, you must be bound by it. Why? Because Yahweh is bound by it. You're not listening. Yahweh is bound by the ruling of the elders in Israel, even if the rabbi's on the golf course. Now, fortunately, I don't play golf. I think I might start thinking about it, because I'm getting to the point now where all I can do is eat, swim, and play golf. So I think I may just be taking it up in the near future. I mean, you won't see me at the Masters, but you may see me out on the course eventually with Brother Ted. I told you, Ted, get ready. This is your day. Baruch Hashem Yahweh. Okay, together the Shamashim, or the elders, will consult with each other, and make a ruling, and they don't even have to bring it to the rabbi's attention. See, that's the way this thing works. Because now you respect their position, and you realize that they're not just names on somebody's stationery to make the congregation look bigger than it actually is. That's right. And to make it, look more impressive than it actually is. They've been appointed, ordained, sanctified, and set apart, not just to hear the matter, it's a small matter, not just to hear the issue, that's a small issue, but to bring you a verdict. And see, that doesn't sit well with us, because if we don't like what we hear, we could leave the congregation or go to the rabbi. But now the rabbi's saying, you can't go to the rabbi, I'm not coming back. I'm moving to Austria with Martha. Well, before you do that, it's very expensive to get there. You better pray about it. It's not cheap going to Austria. Baruch Hashem Yahweh. I mean, this is so refreshing, and it's so emet, it's so derech, it's so halacha, that if we abide by Yahweh's principles and His Torah, we cannot turn to the left, we cannot turn to the right, we cannot go wrong, we cannot go astray. Yahweh will see to it that we get righteous, good, blessed, sanctified mishpat. But in how many congregations do they tell you to go to the elders? They say, go to the elders, run it by the elders, and then if you don't hear what you want to hear, and if you don't receive the words and the exhortation that you think you should, you could always go to the pastor. That is wrong. It is not Torah. It is not biblical. It may be churchianity, but it's not Torah. In Yisrael, Yitro told Moshe, appoint the 70 and lay off. Let them render mishpat over 50s, hundreds, and thousands, and their words, their judgments, their rulings will be binding upon all who seek their counsel, all who seek their advice, all who seek their ways, all who seek their mind, all who seek their understanding. It will be binding upon them, and if you're not willing for them to legislate the morality of the derech and halakha of Torah in your life, then stay away from the elders, because they are not puppets. They have the authority from Yahweh to render verdict on small matters. Amen. Small matters. On non-issues, non-matters, you've got the authority. The individual has the authority. You can take it to the next level. You can spill it out and not make it an issue, or you can keep the problem brewing and bring it to the next level, bring it to the elders. You've got the authority to make non-issues and allow non-issues to remain non-issues. You have that authority. You have that right. You have that power. But as soon as you take a non-issue and bring it to the elders, you've now made it a small issue, and you've given them full authority to render mishpat in your life. You no longer have the authority. You can only maintain that authority if you choose to make it a non-issue. Yes, he cursed at me. Yes, he took my seat. Yes, yeah, that's true, and all, yes, that's true. But I'm not going to make it an issue. I'm not going to make it an issue. Okay? So now you've got the authority over the situation, because you haven't brought it to the Shamashim. You understand? Once you bring it to the Shamashim, they will consult with each other, and then Tehillah cannot make a ruling on her own. A, she's a woman, and a woman must be submitted to a man. B, it's not Torah, she must have a dual mishpat of 2 or 3. Hello? Hello? Hello. So that Roberto must bring the matters, the small matters, to Tehillah. Tehillah will bring the small matters to Roberto, and they will render mishpat. And their mishpat is binding. It cannot be overruled by Rabbi Moshe. Why? Because I only receive the greater matters, or the heaviest matters, or the most burdensome matters. Does any of this make sense? Yes. Now let's go please to Matidyahu. Matidyahu 16:19. I know what I'm saying today. I know exactly what I'm talking about today. Matidyahu 16:19. Matidyahu 16:19. And be honest, I'll be honest, most congregations that I know, the elders are just there for decoration. Just there for decoration. Deacon, shmi, you want to be a deacon? You can be a deacon. You know how to vacuum? That's fine. You know how to put thumbtacks on the wall? You're a deacon. What good is a title if you don't have authority behind the title? Hello? Matthew 16:19. I will give you the keys of the Malchut HaShamayim. And whatever you bind, he's talking to the proper order in Israel, you. Is Yeshua talking to Vatican councils, or is he talking to Talmidim? Let's try that again. Some of you are not sure. Is he talking to Vatican councils or all Talmidim? All Talmidim. He's saying, whatever the structure of authority among my Talmidim is, whatever you bind on earth shall, having been bound in the Shamayim, whatever you loose on Haaretz or in the Olam, shall, having been loosed in the Shamayim. What does that mean? Unlike what we've learned coming out of that weird stuff, okay? I bind you, I loose you, I bind you. Should I bind you when I'm loosing and I'm loosing when I'm binding? You could bind so much and loose so much, pretty soon you won't even know what deodorant to put on, honey. I used to have people call me, Rabbi, I'm going crazy. Why? What did you do? What happened? I don't know, she should bind and I should loose. And my mama told me I should loose, but my pastor said I should bind. And I got 2 demons that are knocking on the door. I don't know if I should let them in. Should I loose these 2 at the door? And I got 4 demons coming in through the window. Should I loose those or bind those? Rabbi, please help me. I need counsel. I need help. I need advice. I don't know if I should bind them or loose them. I said, sweetheart, let me take you to Genesis chapter 1, verse 1. Let me get you rooted and grounded in Torah, and the devil can't touch you. Submit yourselves to Yahweh and His Torah, and then resist the devil steadfast in the faith. Don't you dare resist the devil without being first submitted to Yahweh's Torah. You could bind and loose until the cows turn into mad cows.
Look out.
Turn to your neighbor and say, I ain't messing with no mad cows. Baruch Hashem Yahweh. So, the Hebraic understanding of binding and loosing, listen, to bind something means I prohibit, I will not allow. To loose means I allow, I permit. So when you go to the elders for Mishpat, you're coming to have a decision that will bind or loose, be loosed in your life. Bind means the elders have consulted, they've heard the testimony, they've heard what you've shared, they've made a mishpat, a ruling. The ruling they make, with or without Rabbi Moshe, because they've been set apart into that office, that ruling, that mishpat, that sentence, that justice or ruling is binding in heaven, even as it is on the earth. Why? Because he says, I give you the keys to the kingdom. Not St. Peter, not St. Nick, and not St. Papias, or St. Valentine. I give you the keys to the kingdom. Well, if we've got the keys, then we've got to know the proper order of structure in the assembly. So you can make your own ruling as long as you don't make issues out of non-issues. You can make your own ruling. You follow me? That's called turning the other cheek. That's called looking the other way. That's called walking in love and forgiveness and understanding. But if there's some matter that's a small matter, and it's brewing, and it's brewing, and it's brewing, and it's in the camp, and it won't go away, and you need mishpat, you need judgment, then when you come to the elders, you got to understand that the elders are going to go to each other, and they're going to render verdict without the rabbi if they if they themselves deem it to be a small matter. If it's a small matter and you bring it to me, now the elders are in sin. Because they're burdening me with a small matter, and they're passing the responsibility of the small matter which they are to execute mishpat and deliver the mishpat to the Talmidim of Israel. They're passing the buck to the rabbi because they feel insignificant, they may feel unworthy to render mishpat, they may have low self-esteem, they may feel unequipped or not necessarily prepared to render mishpat. And so when they take a small matter and turn it into a big matter, they've sinned. Just like when you and I take a non-matter and turn it into a small matter. You see how divine government works? The small matter, you're the judge. I'm sorry, pardon me, the non-matter, you're the judge. The small matter, the Shemeshim are the judge. And you cannot take a non-matter, turn it into a small matter, any more than they can take a small matter and turn it into a large matter. Are we on? Are we on? Turn to your neighbor and say we're on. Try it again. We're on. We're going. And heaven is bound by that decision. We're going. Heaven is bound by that decision. You see how Israel differs from religion? In Israel, there are rungs on the chain of command, and those rungs are not just merely decoration or esoteric dressing. Rather, they are in position, sanctified, anointed, and ordained by the Shamayim. Whatever they bind in the assembly will be bound in heaven. Whatever they loose, they allow in the assembly will be loosed in heaven. So the idea of binding and loosing is not binding and loosing demoniacs. It is allowing and disallowing things in the Commonwealth of Israel. See this making sense? I said, is it making sense? So the elders do not receive input. Listen, elders, Shemeshim. The elders do not receive input from the rabbi on small matters. The elders have been ordained to receive, hear, and judge the minor matters without consulting and bringing the matter to the rabbi or the rebbitzin. Where does the rebbitzin fit in? She is part of the flesh of the rabbi. Leave her alone with small matters. She is my flesh, bone of my bone, flesh of my flesh. Don't burden her down with small matters. Those in the assembly with issues or minor matters need not go to the rabbi or rebbitzin, but listen, but here's the thing. Here's what we do. Now listen carefully, because this is going to knock you upside the head. So listen, if you like getting convicted, this is your turn. The Israelites in the assembly should not take minor matters to the rabbi or the rebbitzin. Yea, moreover, they should not take small issues or small matters to others in the assembly. And that's where I lost most of you. Well, he's my friend. I like him. I can talk to him. I don't feel comfy talking to Roberto. Of course you don't, because he's going to tell everything to Tehillah. I don't feel comfortable talking to Tehillah. Of course you don't. She's going to tell everything to Roberto. So I need counseling because I've been living in sin, but I don't feel comfortable because all my life I've had problem with authority figures, principals, teachers, firefighters, policemen, anybody in a uniform or seat. I've got a problem with authority figures. So I like Raina, and Safania's a cool dude. I can talk to them. I know I need counseling, but I can talk to them, see? Well, you can and you can't. Hello? You can and you can't. You can, I can't stop you, and the elders can't stop you. And they probably won't stop you because they're caring, concerning people, and they probably will hear you out. But they don't have the authority to render mishpat. So what good is it? You've just participated in an exercise of futility. Now I'm not putting them down, I'm just using them as an example. Well, I'm going to go to Ted. I like Ted. I feel comfortable with Brother Ted. I'm going to talk to him about Rabbi. I'm going to talk to him about Kamar Ali III. I'm going to talk to him about I'm going to talk to him about Marsha. I'm going to talk to Ted about all these folks and all these things that are bothering me. Because Ted will understand. Sure he will. But you're in sin. You're not following the divine order. You're not following the divine government. Nobody said, it's not written in the Torah, you have to go to the rabbi. Just the opposite. You've got to follow the proper order. First you go, if it's a small matter, you go to the elders. You don't go to Ted. Ted is not anointed and set apart and ordained. That doesn't mean he doesn't have gifts. It doesn't mean he doesn't have abilities. It doesn't mean he's void of supernatural intelligence from Yahweh. It doesn't mean that. He's just not appointed and ordained for that task. But see, that's not going to stop most of you from doing what you're doing. You're still going to pick up the phone, and you're still going to call Sister so-and-so. Because you're comfortable. So that our life in Yeshua now becomes what we're comfortable rather than what is written. Because I'll be honest with you, I'm not always comfortable talking to people. But Yahweh didn't ask me if I'm comfortable. He's saying, are you going to shepherd my flock? If you're not, I'll get somebody else. But if I'm going to shepherd the flock, I'm not going to follow the think and grow rich and the church mentality. I'm going to follow the Torah. I'm going to shepherd this flock through my elders. I'm not going to shepherd. I'm not going to carry all your burdens. Just like you're not called to carry all my burdens. I'll love you. I'll respect you. I'll be with you. I'll support you when and where I can. But I'm not going to carry all your burdens. I'm going to shepherd this flock through my elders. Hello? Well, we need counseling. We need assistance. We need finances. And Ted will understand. And Sister Marilyn, she'll understand. There's only one problem with that. Marilyn cannot bring you what you need to avenge you of your enemies, to change the situation, to bring a change in the circumstances. She does not have the ordination, the sanctification. She has not been put aside by Yahweh in this That doesn't mean she can't do certain other things, hello? But that's not what she's been set apart to do. She's been set apart to minister in other ways, amen? In many other ways. Could be 1,000 other ways. But not in rendering judgment and rendering mishpat and rendering sentence. When we've got a problem brewing in the camp, we need solution. Remember Ted? Remember Ted with the I solution? So when you pick up the phone and speak to Sister so-and-so, because I know she'll understand, you know what you're doing? It's an exchange of feeling session. It's like going to a counseling's office, lying down in the counselor, paying the counselor $90, and he just lets you rap along. Hello? Rap on, honey. Are you finished talking? Can I have your $90, please? And please make sure your check doesn't bounce. Are you ready? You feel better? You've gotten everything off your chest? So what good is it if I have a problem going to Miss Rosa for counseling, or for direction, or for insight, or for mishpat, a verdict? A verdict is a solution. You may not like the verdict, but it is a finality. It's closure. So that the structure of the elders in the congregation are designed to bring you healing and wholeness and solution and closure on a matter or a problem that is a small issue that if you don't address is going to very quickly turn into a major issue. So when you need counseling, you've got two ladies in the congregation. You're not comfortable talking to a man? You've got our sister Tehillah, you've got Rebbetzin Rivka, and I would not even go to Rebbetzin Rivka until I went to Tehillah, because Tehillah's not going to render verdict on her own. She's going to bring it to Roberto. Is Roberto still here? He needs to be hearing this. Huh? He's here? Okay. And Roberto needs to render mishpat in conjunction and in union with Tehillah. So nothing's done unilaterally or by themselves. Do you understand? Then you can rest in proper order. No one is special. No one's above anybody else. That the smallest matters are heard by the same people, the shameshim. And they will treat you like they treat anybody else that comes to them with a small issue. In other words, that you're not going to have a different judge. The problem with going to another person in the congregation that's not ordained as a shamish or an elder for help, for assistance, for counseling, for guidance, for direction. The problem is A, they may not be equipped, B, they may not be called, C, they may not be anointed, and D, you're screwing yourself. How can you say that? Because you may get a different sentence by different people. But when you go to the Shameshim, you are assured that the ones who rendered mishpat for Marilyn are going to the same ones who are going to render mishpat for Reina. They're the same. It's the same people. The same mind is playing. The same wisdom is playing. The same understanding of the word. The same submission to the rabbi. These two people who are rulers over 50 and hundreds and thousands in Israel, They've been ordained by your rabbi to hear your issues. But when you don't go to the elders and you go to the person that you're most comfortable with, you're out of line, you're misaligned, and the results are disastrous. And those of you who have not gone to the elders, you've either gone straight to the rabbi for small matters, or you've done nothing, we'll talk about that in a few minutes, or you've gone to someone else to receive gifts that they don't have, and you don't get solution to the issue. You become frustrated, turn against your neighbor, against the elders, against your brother and sister, and then leave the synagogue. It's very quiet here today. Is there a reason for that? See, they don't do that in that other Sunday system. In that system, the elders are there because their names look good on the stationery. Let's be honest. And the pastor looks better. The Moshe Rabbeinu, Yisrael, the greatest prophet our people have ever had, was called to shepherd by not shepherding, but by delegating to under-shepherds. So that if our brother Daniel goes to Roberto, and you go to someone who's not called and ordained and gifted to render mishpat, you will not get equity, you will not get justice. You may get your ears tickled, but you can't find a solution. Solutions can only come through those that are ordained by Yahweh to deliver and bring solution. Is anyone getting this? Yes. Or am I just spinning my wheels here? No. It doesn't matter if you like the elders. That has nothing to do with it. That has nothing to do with what's written in the Torah. Since when do we have to like our leaders? We have to respect them and obey them. Because if ministry depended on liking the leaders, I'd be out on the corner of 95 and Commercial with a sign looking for work. We'll work for food. If ministry was dependent on being liked, I'd be that fat guy in the corner with a sign, we'll work for food. Brothers and sisters, so the Shamishim are here to tackle what matters? Small matters. You have all the authority in a matter as long as you don't make it a matter. If it's a non-matter or a non-issue, you're the judge and jury. You're the judge and jury. And that's great to be in, because Yahweh says, as long as you don't make it an issue, I'll give you full authority over that situation. Does any of this making sense? But we've got people walking out and going to Yochanan, and I'm not picking on him, I'm just picking on everybody today, going to Abraham, can you help me? I need counseling. What are you doing? Has he been set apart by the rabbi, by the Kehilat Yisrael, by the assembly, to have the ordination and the authority to minister to you? And not only the authority, but the authority to render sentence. Didn't we just read that in Shemot 18? How many of you would go to small claims court to sue someone else if the judge couldn't reward you for damages? Would you just go there to be on TV? I wouldn't. If I'm going to go to court, I want to stand before a judge who can render damages. We don't do that, see? You know why? Because we're not comfortable. We've got this little tree chain going, and they know me and they'll listen to me. Sure they will, but they won't bring solution. So you walk into that situation with spiritual red eye, and you walk out of that situation with spiritual red eye. We've got to be like Ted. Ted's not interested in putting eyeglasses on or wearing a Band-Aid on top of his eyebrow. Ted he's the guy with that solution. And putting drops. Solution, eye drops into the eyes to get rid of the redness and the irritation. Making sense? Okay, let's continue. As individual Israelites, Talmidim, we've got to realize what the elders bind on earth will be bound where? In heaven. That's pretty authoritative to me. That's even a higher authority than Hebrew National. All right? Well, Rabbi, that's just Tehillah. I know Tehillah. No, that's just Roberto. I know Roberto. No, Yahweh says whatever they bind, they're the authority structure for small matters. You're the authority structure for non-matters. In other words, if you don't make it an issue, it remains your own authority, your own kingdom. You can do with that problem or that thing that's bothering you, you can do with it what you will. Do you understand? But as soon as you make it a small issue, you don't run right to the rabbi, you go to the elders. So when you come to me with an issue, the first thing that I'm going to say is, have you spoken to the elders? No. Why? Because they weren't on my favorite phone list, my buddy list. I'm not comfortable. Get comfortable. Because they're the only ones that can do anything about it. Speaking of Brother Daniel, he's only been with us for 4 weeks. He can't give you a judgment and sentence. Yahweh appointed the elders in Israel not to just let Moshe take a vacation, but to bring mishpat to all the worthy people of Israel. We all deserve mishpat and the mind and the counseling and the wisdom and the intelligence of Yahweh. We all deserve that. And equal justice. Baruch Hashem Yahweh. What's so nice about going to the elders is you're being considerate. You're not taking a small matter and going to the rabbi, which is forbidden. And you're going to that and you're respecting the chain of command, and you're going to come out with a verdict. Because the two shamashim are going to consult with each other and bring you a verdict. So the individual talmidim should never, please write this down, more than that, get it in your heart. Get it deep in your heart. Never. N-E-V-E-R. Never take a issue, a minor or small issue, to other individuals in the assembly for mishpat or sentence, but must go to the recognized and ordained elders who will render quick judgment